Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Daniel sent me a story out of Alabama. It's an interesting one involving small homes from AL.com. An Alabama town's ban on small homes irks some residents down in Alabama. Greg Garrison wrote this for AL.com. Highland Lake resident Karen Hawkins Murphy decided it was time to downsize when she retired because she was struggling to maintain her larger home. She wanted to build a smaller home on her vacant land where she could more easily live out her golden years, but the city would not let her do that. At first, I accepted the town's answer when they told me I couldn't build a smaller home. However, when I saw the abhorrent way the town treated other residents who wanted to build smaller homes, I couldn't let it go. They were objecting to her proposed home because it was too small. Too small. She created a petition to change the ordinance, and a law firm has taken up her cause. The Institute for Justice in Arlington, Virginia, sent a letter to the town of Highland Lake in Blount County calling on officials to end the town's ban on small homes. Highland Lake requires all homes to be at least 1,800 square feet, which is much stricter than other towns. So your house cannot be smaller than 1,800 square feet. That is if it's a new build. Requiring people to build big homes is not just bad policy, it is also unconstitutional, says Erica Smith Ewing, an Institute for Justice senior attorney who wrote the letter to the town. Both the Alabama and the U.S. constitutions require laws to be connected to a legitimate government purpose, like protecting the general welfare or public safety. There's nothing unsafe about living in a modestly sized home. Highland Lake Mayor Donna Hanby, reached by AL.com, said the requirement is in line with the Alabama League of Municipalities, which sounds like a really, really bad group of superheroes, but it's actually not. It's the Alabama League of Municipalities. Our ordinances are legal, she said. It's nothing new, it's being done. The letter's been referred to the town's attorneys. It's in the lawyer's hands, she said. The attorney says small and tiny homes provide flexibility for residents, increase the overall supply of housing, and offer a more affordable means to home ownership than larger homes. The town is active in its enforcement of this ordinance, and multiple residents have been harmed by it, she said. This issue isn't just about me, the woman at the top says. She also cited the Cooley family whose home burned down last year. They wanted to rebuild, but their old home was around 1,250 square feet, so the town told them no. They tried to find a middle ground and asked for a variance to build a 1,550 square foot home. The town denied their request on September 27th. Because of the town's minimum size requirement, they were forced to live in a hotel for months before ultimately deciding to move out of town altogether. So their house, that was legal before because it was built before this code was passed apparently, was too small. So they couldn't rebuild it as it was. They had to rebuild it up to that minimum standard. It's about so many more of my neighbors who fear they could end up in a similar situation to me or the Cooleys. The town's law is hurting residents who just want to live in a home that best meets their needs and budget. People choose to build smaller homes for a variety of reasons, whether it's downsizing, following retirement, rebuilding from a devastating fire, or looking for a more affordable alternative to bigger homes. The town should not stand in their way. Last September, Murphy put together a petition to have the town change the law. About half of the residents signed it. She then presented the petition to the town's council. She asked the town council about the status of the petition and its request for a change to the law. Council member said, "We found there just isn't an appetite at this time to change it." There isn't an appetite to change it, despite the fact that half the town signed the petition. And I know some people would say, Steve, half the town technically is not a majority. That's not the point. The point is that if you have a petition and half the town has signed it, you'd think the commission would at least look at it. Because I've seen things get put on ballots with less than half of the voters signing it. The Institute for Justice also says the town has been violating the Alabama Open Meetings Act and the Alabama Open Records Law. On 3 occasions, Murphy asked for minutes from town meetings, including minutes discussing this particular requirement and minutes from when the Cooleys were denied their variance. The town never responded. Additionally, when the law firm asked for public records, the town never acknowledged receipt of the request. You can ignore the locals. Don't ignore the Institute for Justice. Don't. They're not going to just forget about it. These records are legally required to be publicly available, according to the attorney. The Institute for Justice said it has fought against similar bans on building smaller homes including a lawsuit against the town of Calhoun, Georgia. Calhoun's law, which set the minimum size of homes at 1,150 square feet, is preventing a nonprofit that builds affordable housing from building in that town. The Institute for Justice is also currently challenging other zoning laws, such as the one being used to kick people out of their homes in Sierra Vista, Arizona, and one threatening to put a small mechanic out of business in Pasadena, Texas. I did a video on that because that's where they wanted him to install 23 parking spaces he doesn't need and can't afford. So that's the story of the Alabama town that doesn't want people to build small homes, and they require all homes be at least 1,800 square feet. And where'd they get that number from? Another city, which was Calhoun, says, well, 1,150 square feet. And again, why that number? So they're just yanking numbers out of thin air, as we like to say. But I would like to mention one other thing about this, and I'm going to mention the Institute for Justice again. And here's the thing. I have no ties to the Institute for Justice. I don't make any money from them. They don't send me any work. But I've become aware of them very, very much so from lately doing stories that they are involved in. And every single case I've seen them involved in, I look at and go, that is a good cause. And it's the kind of cause that would be hard for someone else to get an attorney that they could afford to handle. So the guy who's handling the situation in Texas who didn't want to build the extra 23 parking spaces, if he wanted to fight that on his own, it would have made no sense. It'd probably be cheaper to put in the 23 parking spaces. And the situation here with somebody who wants to build a smaller home but can't, probably couldn't hire some fancy pants law firm to come in and fight the local municipality. So every story I've seen from the Institute for Justice is something like that, which I'd like to say is a righteous cause, what I sometimes call good causes. It's righteous, what they're doing. And by the way, that edit, I'm just going to let you know. If you watch carefully, you'll see a ghost image, and a lot of times I put my hand up to my mouth, it's because I'm coughing. I know some people wonder, what did Steve say that he edited out right there? No. I was coughing. So I coughed, and then I edited it out, and occasionally you see the ghost image of my hand going up. So that's the end of that mystery. But the Institute for Justice does great work. They take up causes other people won't take up, can't afford to take up, but the stuff they're doing helps other people. So when they go in like this and are helping somebody who wants to build a smaller home, they're not just helping that one person. They're helping everybody in the community who might have the similar desire, okay? And when they strike down a law or get a law struck down that badly affects a lot of people, there might be a named plaintiff in the case, but they're helping other people also. So I've mentioned this before, and I've given the plug at the end of videos before. I've said, if you like the work they do as much as I do, please go to their website, check out what they do, and they have a link where you can donate. They're a nonprofit. You can write this off in your taxes if you're interested in that, but they're a nonprofit. They do good work. I've mentioned that twice now. This will be the third video that I've mentioned them in. After the first video and the second video, I got notes from the Institute for Justice saying, Steve, thank you so much. They told me how much my audience is donating. It's a large number. And I had several people say, Steve, tell us the number, which somehow seems very mercenary to me. I'm not going to do that. I will tell you that they sent me an email recently and said, Steve, it appears that 175 members of your audience have logged onto our website and donated money to us. 175. Now, I can tell you right now, I worked in radio, and I would give away stuff, and I wouldn't get 175 calls. I've done book signings, well-advertised ones, where 175 people didn't show up. So the fact that I went on here on YouTube and shot a video, mentioned the Institute for Justice and the great work they do, and said, if you agree with me they do great work, go to their website, check them out, read their articles, bookmark it, return once in a while. They update the stories on their website. And if you're so inclined, donate money, because it's a wonderful cause. It's a great cause. And the fact that 175 people responded to that call and donated money makes me very, very proud of my audience. I've got a pretty large audience, much, much larger than I ever thought I'd get on YouTube. I'm approaching 300,000 subscribers right now, which blows my mind. Never in my life on radio did I have 300,000 listeners, ever. Cumulatively, I might not have over my career. But the point is that my audience is righteous because they've donated money to the Institute for Justice to pursue their righteous causes. So I want to thank you for doing that and remind you, I'll put the link in the description below, that they do great work. And if you're inspired to do so, please donate to a good cause. Right now, they're helping out the woman who's in an Alabama town that has banned small homes, apparently for just random reasons, I guess. Daniel sent it to me, and AL.com wrote the article and published it. Actually, Greg Garrison wrote it. AL.com published it. If you got questions or comments, please put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Don't start vast projects with half-vast ideas.